Hi, I'm Gil. I'm Vice President of Sales at XM Cyber, a cybersecurity company out of Israel. And we have 15 minutes to have this talk. So I'm not going to talk to you about the company. I'm not going to talk to you about the amazing team we have with the relevant background. I'm not going to talk about the tier one customers that are happy with our solution. And I'm not going to talk to you about all the awards we got and about our amazing investors. But I want to talk to you today about a complex situation, which is actually protecting your organization. It's a convoluted process, and we want to turn it into a simple one. Let's talk about how to turn complex into simple. So you, Mr. CISO or security team, you have minor problems, you have medium problems, and you have big problems on your plate, and you have a full plate just behind you. So now let's talk about how to turn that complex into simple. And let's focus on risk. How do you get from this situation around risk to this? So from reactive and damage control risk to something that you know thy risk, and to have a proactive, efficient, actionable comprehension of how to do risk, whatever is there. In 2020, we have a great situation which is challenging for you as a customer and as a prospect and as an organization. Proactive risk reduction is something on your mind. You have a few options. One option is to ignore the risk. The other option is to continue doing what you're doing. And the other option is to change the narrative. You can ignore the risk and tick the box. Good luck with that. It's not going to work. You can continue what you've been doing, and it's not going to work because things are changing. What brought you here won't take you there. Or you can listen to what's needed. And this is from Mr. CISO or Miss CISO. And I'm going to quote, "I want an intelligent way to proactively and continuously understand my risk and help me fix it in a prioritized way." You remember the full plate? Let's help this CISO. So what I'm hearing from that, and this is why XM Cyber has revolutionized the way we are addressing risk and we're addressing how to reduce that risk and increase the resilience. What we're hearing is that there is the need for a product to identify proactively the exposures and the risk towards your critical assets. What I'm hearing is that you need a product that would prioritize it and help you where to focus. And what I'm hearing is that you want something to remediate, to help you focus and optimize your remediation. So 3 products. We're talking about proactive identification of things before the attack happens. We're talking about prioritizing it because you have a resource that is scarce, and you have resource that is money, and you have resource which is time. And you want to be optimizing remediation because you want to do it fast and agile. So identify a product for that, prioritize a product for that, and remediate a product for that. So how about, this is what XM Cyber just did. It created a platform that we found a way to create something that has that all in one. Identification, remediation, and prioritization. So what's your game plan? You as a security team, what are your tactics in order to protect your critical assets? So better detection, more security controls, improved response, or reduced exposure on the critical assets in the goalkeeper? How about thinking what's the attacker's game plan? How about looking at being stealth as an attacker? How about being below the radar as an attacker, stateful and aware, and move slowly towards the critical asset so it looks more like this? So you don't have her pills of this Queen's Gambit, so you cannot do that all by yourself. You don't have the friend, this is me on the right, you don't have your friend all the time to help you play chess with you. You are actually playing chess solo. And you, Mr. CISO or Miss CISO or security team, are playing a very sophisticated game with a lot of tactics and strategies. You're trying to protect the queen and the king of your realm, which are the critical assets. But you're playing solo. How about a value proposition from XM to lift that curtain and show you how you look like from a point of view of an attacker? We come from vast experience that can lift the curtain and show you from different breaching points to different critical assets how a sophisticated attacker would do lateral movement and get it. How about doing that automatically, continuously, and autonomously? This is the value proposition. Because sometimes this is what you see. You're running blind. And we want to give you proactive visibility. In 2020, the networks are ever so dynamic. Configuration change, people come and go, new networks, vague perimeter, and of course, human beings making human mistake, which is only human. If we distill the entire essence of what we're doing right here in this conference is that we're trying to protect your critical assets. And can you answer this question continuously? So, for you, when you open a window, it's just fresh air. But for the attacker, it's vulnerability. And it's a chance to get in. Start looking at that from the point of view of an attacker. And this is what we do at XM. Show you vulnerabilities, misconfiguration, and user activity that lead to lateral movement that go across your organization until the attacker gets into the critical asset. Game over. So, beware of continuing to rely on your security controls only. Because it's not only about the security controls. Look at cost effectiveness. There's a door with a lot of locks. There's a simple door here. And if you think the doors that you've put are going to stop the attacker, you're wrong. Because I never saw an attacker that sees a door and does a U-turn. It's not going to happen. Because there might be a lock, a key under the mat, and there might be an open window. So what is the DNA of a successful breach? Let's get into the mindset of the attacker. Vulnerabilities, leverage vulnerabilities all over the place. The second thing, misconfiguration and bad hygiene. All over the place, including your cloud environment. And of course, user behavior, which is all the time opening more and more openings for the attacker. These are the three, and you need a platform that actually addresses those in order to mimic the activities of a real attacker. So how about let's be the DJ for a second. So instead of putting maximum effort to have a minimum impact, how about changing it and reverse engineering it in a way that you do minimum effort to have a high impact? So do more in less. And this is revolutionary. And this is how we do it. We are looking and finding a laser-focused way on where to start. You remember the messy pasta. We want to start where the things happen. So you identify, there's hundreds of thousands of identified vulnerabilities. So we identify with our tool set the ones that are relevant for your organization. Then we distill that with the ones that are exploitable. And then we're looking at risky user activity. This is distilling that even more. And then combined with IT misconfiguration, what is the most risky assets to allow a breach? And we come to 13. Not hundreds of thousands, but 13. This is how granular we are, and this is how efficient you are going to be to remove the risk of the next attack. So how about this proposition? Continuously evaluate the attack scenarios. Easily to create those scenarios, measure it continuously, and create a unified way to identify the gaps and save money. How about seeing your security posture from the attacker perspective, continuously, automatically, and autonomously? How about monitoring the security posture continuously? The security score, go from B to A, go from F to C, advance yourself, and have a granularity of understanding how 3 endpoints, if you fix those, they can actually impact, those choke points can impact 72% of your critical assets. This is how granular you are. So actually it looks something like this. There's a breaching point, and this is the system moving around your network in a safe way, just like hundreds of red teams moving in parallel and starting the reconnaissance phase using hundreds and thousands of tool techniques and methods in order to get and compromise those red dots here on the way to compromise the attack, the critical asset. This might take a few minutes, and it might take a few hours, but this is red team on steroids, actually leveraging vulnerabilities, misconfiguration, and user activity in real time. At the end of the day, you will get a critical asset which is compromised, and then you'll have the next phase, which is actually understanding how it happened, step by step, storyline of the attack, how it happened. It's the first time ever you're going to have a dialogue with the attacker. This is revolutionizing the way you protect your organization. Talk to the attacker, understand how it was done, and then one click, single click remediation in terms of understanding. No need for 2 weeks to wait for the report. No need for people to cover the scale, and you have it. This is solving scale. This is solving point in time. This is continuous in the entire network. Scale is a very important thing. Findings are there for you, and then you can actually take those findings in a prioritized, contextual way. Thousands of windows might be open, but there's 3 or 4 that can lead to the critical asset. This is where you want to focus. Now, how about adding next-gen vulnerability management to the platform? You have it. Tick that box. How about doing all these good things in the cloud? Cloud attack simulations. Here you go. In AWS, in Azure, in Google, hybrid cloud, and on-prem. We have it for you. One platform, multiple use cases, and proposition. Vulnerability management, continuous attack simulation, cloud and hybrid attack simulation, and SOC optimization. This is the thing that we're going to optimize for you and solve. One more thing. Power of the ecosystem. Yes, we talk to the entire ecosystem. Might it be your EDRs, your vulnerability management platforms, or other endpoint solutions, and your SOC, etc. Proactive situational awareness. This is what you need in 2020 to be proactively understanding, aware of the situation in order to react before something happens. Yes, number 3, proactive visibility feeding detection. 1 + 1 = 3. And then the real-time SOC optimization, which makes it more sensible and more optimized in order for you to get a better ROI of everything you're doing around security. What's your game plan? This is XM. Thank you very much.